name's Derek Underwood. I'm the mayor here in Prosperity. This is my 6th year, I believe, 7th year, something like that, serving as mayor. And it's always good for the Prosperity Hopping Festival to start off here and kick off the events of the spring and the summer. And this is just a perfect place to have it. I think this is the most people I've ever seen at a hopping festival. So before we get started, just thank the whole festival committee and Miss Hawkins, Andy Hawkins, and everyone else. But this is great. But so the one and only time you'll be able to go see a frog dedication. Every town, every community, every family has a story. We have stories too in Prosperity. So this is kind of adding to the story of Prosperity about where we came from and who we used to be and who we are now. And we're honoring the frogman of Prosperity. Our frogman in Prosperity is Mr. James Sizemore. So why frogs? Why do we have a sign that has a frog on it? Why do we have frogs on our banners? And why do we have little frogs that we give out to our children? And why do we have frogs on pins and stationery papers? Well, we used to be known as Frog Level. Who here did not know we used to be named Frog Level? We got one person raise their hand. Well, why is Frog Level? What's the history behind Frog Level? Well, without being politically correct, a lot of the surveyors at the time used to like to take a little nips after they finished their surveying for the day. And what I mean by that, they like to have a little adult beverage. And when our surveyor who was doing this area, when he settled down for the evening, he had him a few too many. And when he woke up the next morning, he noticed a bunch of frogs around him. So he wrote down in his journal or in his notes that he was at frog level. So needless to say, when that passed up the chain and went through the ranks to get this area established, that was on the paperwork, and that's what this place was established as, Frog Level. So we can thank a party goer surveyor who actually gave us the name. So we were Frog Level for the longest, and in 1873 we were reestablished as the town of Prosperity. And the reasoning behind that, we had a major fire downtown, and a lot of folks, a lot of the merchants down here pitched in and helped rebuild the area, and they rededicated this area as Prosperity. So it's a good name for a good town, great town. And our motto now is Prosperity equal to the name, and that's on a lot of our logos and a lot of our stationery and business cards and a lot of shirts, including the one I'm wearing now. So that's so how did an Aiken resident, how did Mr. Sizemore, how did he find his way to Prosperity? A while back we started noticing horseshoe frogs being placed throughout town. Only a handful of people knew where they were coming from. I didn't know where they were coming from. And if you're in a small town, usually when you tell a secret at the drugstore or tell a secret at the gas station or at the post office, you find out about it about before lunchtime, and it usually gets stretched and you find out who said it or whatnot, but no one knew about it. It was kept a very good secret. So it started as horseshoes and frogs. James and Kathy came to Prosperity from Aiken. There's a lot of horseshoes are in Aiken, of course. He made horseshoe frogs, 2 horseshoe frogs, then 3, and he ended up with a box of them. And I remember before I even knew who did it, I asked for the orange frog with the tongue sticking out because I'm a Clemson grad. I wanted an orange frog, and it still sits in my yard to this day. Early mornings when he did his daily walk, he put them out in different places, and he would leave horseshoe frogs at local businesses. So that's kind of where this story came from. Frog Level from Aiken. Frogman came here, started doing that, and then today we're kind of ready to dedicate something that's going to help add to the story of Prosperity. And with saying that, I'd like to introduce Miss Andy Hawkins, who's going to kind of go over the ceremony of actually presenting this unveiling.
Thank y'all very much. Well, you might wonder how this frog has been, what, Kathy, 2 years in the making, I believe? Well, about a little over 1 year in the making. We started last year thinking we were going to get it done then. But James has stuck with it, and we are so proud. We're sorry he is not here today, and we certainly send good thoughts out to him. When the committee decided, and asked the town about doing this, we said, we need a frog. He's in Frogman, he'll do it, and Lee Boozer will help him, and we can do this. And so we decided to then actually ask this artist to fix it up for us. Now, when someone does something this amazing, does it not look like an elephant at this point? really got to think about what can you give them to acknowledge this gift and this wonderful gift of stories to our town. And then we thought about it. You think, well, what do you give to a man who went to Europe to deliver a boat, who painted airplanes, who built most of the docks on Lake Murray, who has put actual beautiful metal sculptures in places in South Carolina and parks, has built bird houses for everybody, who actually knows about gopher turtles and did that for the DNR folks. He's just a man, a Renaissance man, and you know, what would you give to him? And then we thought, well, for those of you who know James, you know how formal he is and how he loves rules and regulations. Structure, thank you. I'm looking for all the words. Somebody who likes things that are just, you know, done properly. Very proper. Well, we thought, what do you give to someone who loves proper things? If you're a town, well, you give them a key. There you go. But this special key, would you like to unveil it now? We're good. Kathy, if you will come up. Well, yeah, she's going to stay there. We'll give it to her later. She's actually filming. This key is different than any key anybody has ever gotten, because we could not give a normal key. You know, he's not exactly of this time and place. You know, he's like an ancient soul. This key only fits. Hold it up. There you go. Look how formal it is. We have it framed with lovely wood from Prosperity and, well, rusty metal, which is one of his favorite things in all the world, and a brass key, roofing nails, all this kind of thing. But this key, what's key to this is it will actually only open 3 portals in the whole town of Prosperity. You know, in time and space, there are places that will go other places. James is the only one we knew that would find those 3 portals in Prosperity, South Carolina, and put that key in and turn it and be back in frog level. So we want to report, Kathy, when he makes it through those portals. And the mayor has decided we're going to announce they get moved every day, so we're really going to put him to the lumosity test. We're going to move things around. Yeah, we don't know if it's going to be in the gate up there. That's just a clue. So there's one thing we do know. When he puts that key in, no matter where it is, that key opens our hearts, because we really have a special place. There are many of us here who are nodding in the crowd. A special place for James Frogman Sizemore. He is the most wonderful thing to find someone that comes to your area and then really makes it even better. So we're going to unveil the giant Good Luck Frog in Prosperity, South Carolina, once known as Frog Level. And we are claiming this as the largest, most heavy, most wonderful frog in the entire state of South Carolina, and we're going for the southeast, actually. All right, guys, do it. This is our town council. We need a tall person. Come on, Chad. Hey! Oh my God. I've actually seen this frog in a National Geographic article. Thank y'all very much for being here. If you see James, please send your love to him and the fact